This is FYI on your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham, and I've got Andrea the Tooth Fairy with me. Thanks for joining us today. You're such a busy lady.
I know. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Now, I understand the theater night in Merrickville is having a play, and it's the King's New Clothes, and they needed a Tooth Fairy, so they went to...
They went to me. I mean, who else to play the Tooth Fairy but the Tooth Fairy?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, nobody else could do that.
So what is the play about that they had to get the Tooth Fairy involved?
Well, you know, every pantomime has a certain amount of magic, and they just needed someone from the magic world, and clearly the Tooth Fairy was the logical choice. Though the play does take place, well, anytime really, but we are performing it at Christmas time. I suppose they might have brought in one of the elves or Santa, but no, we needed the Tooth Fairy. And a few of my fairy colleagues are coming as well. I have 5 fairies working with me in the play, yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it's because of the magic. It's the nature of a pantomime, you see, to use magic to help make things come right.
And when you say pantomime, what does that mean?
Pantomime is an old tradition that comes from Europe. It's children's theater with always, as always, a little bit for the adults tossed in there, you know, those jokes that the children may not get. So it's a participational form of theater. So there are good guys and there are bad guys. And you boo for the bad guys and you cheer for the good guys. And there's a lot of back and forth with the audience. Okay. You get used to saying, oh, no, he does. Oh, yes, he does. Oh, no, he doesn't. That kind of thing.
Very interactive.
Very interactive, exactly. And there is music. And there is dance and lots of color and beautiful costumes and sets. And we're telling a story, a fairy story, of originally it was called The Emperor's New Clothes, but it's been adapted and this play is called The King's New Clothes. And it's about King Cuthbert, who is preparing for his wedding to Princess Primrose. And in order to prepare for the wedding, he needs a new suit. And so he calls the tailors, but we got to get the evil guy in there. So that's Baron Grumbleguts. And he would have loved to have been here with us today, but he wasn't free. But that's probably just as well because he's a really dastardly guy. Anyway, he plots to embarrass the king and make it just impossible for him to continue as the king because he'll be so humiliated by what's going to happen. And Baron Grumbleguts wants to take over the kingdom himself. So we need to call in some fairies, and Charlie, the superintendent of vegetables in the king's garden, will be very much involved in the plot as well.
Wow, it sounds very interesting.
It
I
is.
understand there's 20 characters.
20 actors, yes, conveying 20 characters. Well, lots of characters. Many of the actors have to wear multiple hats, so to speak. I even get to do a doo-wop number at one point with the doo-wop girls.
Oh, nice. Nice. So this is going to be happening in Merrickville.
Yes.
The dates are November 21st and 22nd.
Correct.
And those are at 7:30, 23rd and 24th at 2 o'clock.
Yes, the Saturday and Sunday, we are just doing matinees because we really want the children to come out. This is very much a performance for the kids.
Oh, it's a wonderful family event, it sounds like.
Oh, yes, very much. And grandparents will enjoy it, too.
Grandparents, too. Yes, yeah. For sure. Tickets at the door, and you can get them online.
Yes. Kathy, I'm just looking at you, and I remember your first tooth.
No, I was about 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You know, you really haven't changed. I find people don't change that much. There's something in the eyes.
So how long have you been the Tooth Fairy?
Oh, well, it's not very polite to ask a fairy her age. But, oh, dear, hundreds of years, I guess I'd have to say, really. I and my colleagues, Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, have been on duty for a long time in North America.
Very long time.
In Tooth Fairy work, I actually have colleagues in the world who are not, they don't look like me. I have a mouse colleague in Mexico who pretty much does the same job. But he's just a different kind of personality, that's all.
Absolutely, and you're busy every night.
Every night. I do night shift.
Yes.
So I tell you, it's a little early for me this morning. Oh, I just touched, well, you know, people wonder sometimes what happens to the teeth. Right. And I, of course, exchange teeth for currency. And with inflation nowadays, oh gosh, you know, when you were a child, it was probably what, a nickel,
Yes.
a dime?
Yes.
Yes, I don't want to age you, my dear, but and now the going rate with inflation is $3 to $5,
Right.
really.
Right.
So times are tough. Fortunately, we have a lot of donors. What happens to the teeth is that we use them to build infrastructure in fairyland. You know, fairyland is always growing.
Yes,
You know, fairies
absolutely.
do prosper and reproduce after all.
That's right, that's right. And you're busy every night making sure that you can build your fairyland.
Exactly. And
Absolutely.
make the boys and girls and all
my
the children
goodness.
happy.
Yes, yes. Nothing
Yes.
like waking up the next day and knowing that you've got a little something for your tooth.
Yes.
Yes, yes, for sure, for sure, for sure. So once again, the play that you are involved in
Yes.
is The King's New Clothes. It's a pantomime.
Yes.
It's a family friendly. We want all the family to come out, children, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, everybody.
Everybody,
Come out
yes.
and
It's a
join in.
really fun way to spend a weekend before Christmas.
Absolutely,
Very
absolutely. And the tickets
entertaining.
are very reasonable. They're only $20 and $5 for children under 10.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And you could get tickets at the door.
You can.
You can, or you can go online at www.merrickvilletheatre.org.
Yes.
That's
And
right.
it's important to get them a little in advance if you
Yes.
can, because we only have about 200 seats in our theater. We transform the community
Yes, you
center in
do.
Merrickville into this amazing theater. And they do it twice a year for a Christmas show and a spring show.
It's amazing when you walk in there at other events, and it's a huge, huge building.
Yeah.
But then you go in there when it's a theater night, and you've got all the stands and the seating and everything. It's like, where did that
really-
come from? It's magic.
Exactly.
Is it magic?
Volunteers, volunteers.
It is. It's very important for volunteers and everything. We
Yes.
say there's 20 actors, but there's so many people on backstage and front and
Backstage.
everything
They're
making this
like
happen.
theater fairies, really, in a way, because they're invisible,
Yes.
and yet they do such important work.
That's right. That's right.
And you know, next year we should probably mention is the 50th anniversary of Theater Night in Merrickville.
Wow.
So we have some special events planned throughout the year.
And your theater has won a lot of awards.
Many awards, many. My friend Andrea Howard, not Andrea the Tooth Fairy, has some acting awards herself.
Yes, she does. Yes, she
Yes, she
does. And
does.
then you've won some. The theater themselves has won acting, directing, stage management, costume, best production.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
all
and
sorts of
just
different-
recently, our one-act play called Split went to the one-act festival in Perth and came away with an award for visual presentation,
Wonderful.
for color coordination of set and costumes. And so it takes a lot to make
It's
magic
a lot
of
of work.
theater.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, we thank you
Yes.
for taking the time out of your day from sleeping, because we know you work nights, Tooth
Yeah,
Fairy.
it's been a night,
It
I
has
tell
been,
you.
Yes, yeah. Right after Halloween, I'm sure maybe some teeth have been lost.
Actually, it's a bumper time
Yes.
for Tooth Fairies.
For sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, thank you for joining us. Andrea the Tooth Fairy, here to talk about the King's New Clothes. It's a pantomime by the Theater Night in Merrickville. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, and thank you.